Welcome, fellow lovers of the weird and strange. This is Lance, your host of Legends of the Hidden Horde, where we explore the folklore behind the mythical creatures that stalk the dark corners of our globe. A huge thank you to all of you for tuning in. Your ears make these strange journeys possible. If you enjoy the show, please hit that subscribe button, leave me a quick review, and give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, or X. Your support truly makes a difference. Now, let's dive into the next story. In the dark hours before dawn, the Little Miami River moves like something that remembers. Its black water slides past the old factories and the quiet bridges of Loveland, Ohio, carrying the scent of mud, wet stone, and the long memory of the land. This valley has always been a place of thresholds, where forests meet water, where night meets the thin light of headlights, where the known world thins just enough for something else to step through. This is episode 39, the Loveland Frogman. Before we speak of the frogman that walks upright along these banks, we must first speak with care of the people who knew this land long before the town of Loveland was named. These are the traditional territories of the Shawnee, the Miami, and other indigenous nations of the Ohio River Valley. Their histories, stories, and relationships with this river are living and deep. The Loveland Frogman, as it is known today, does not appear in the recorded oral traditions of those nations. It is a modern tale, born in the 20th century among settlers and police officers. We hold that distinction carefully. We do not invent ancient roots where none are documented. We do not borrow what is not ours. We simply tell the story that has grown in the cracks of the modern world, and we leave space for the older, truer stories of this place to remain their own. The first known account rises from a May night in 1955. A businessman, sometimes named in later tellings as Robert Honeycutt, drove the lonely road near Branch Hill in the small hours. The air was cool. The road was empty. Then the headlights caught movement at the edge of the pavement. 3 figures, each no taller than a child, standing upright on legs that should not have carried them so easily. Their skin was leathery, grayish in the harsh light. Their faces were broad and frog-like, eyes dark and protruding. In some versions of the story, they stood near a bridge. In others, they seemed to confer among themselves. And in the strangest edge case of the tale, one of them raised a short wand-like object above its head. A spray of sparks leapt from it, bright, brief, unnatural. The driver fled. What he saw, or thought he saw, has never been settled. 17 years later, the story returned with the weight of official voices. On the night of March 3rd, 1972, the roads were icy. Officer Ray Shockey of the Loveland Police drove along Riverside Drive near the old Totes factory, the river close on one side. Something crossed in front of his cruiser, 3 to 4 feet long, leathery, crouched low like a frog. Then it rose onto its hind legs, stood fully upright, and stared. For a moment, the headlights held it. Then it climbed the guardrail and vanished down the slope towards the water. Scratch marks were later claimed on the metal, though photographs of them have never surfaced in any clear form. 2 weeks after that, Officer Mark Matthews reported a similar encounter in the same stretch of road. He fired. He recovered a body. And here the story fractures into one of its most important edge cases. Matthews later stated that the creature was a large iguana, approximately 3 feet to 3.5 feet long, missing its tail, almost certainly an escaped or released pet. He said he showed the body to Shockey, who confirmed it matched what he had seen. Years afterward, when a new sighting claim arose, Matthews publicly called the Frogman legend overblown, even a kind of hoax that had grown beyond the facts. Cold March nights are unkind to tropical lizards, and iguana should have been torpid. not upright and crossing icy roads. That contradiction remains one of the story's sharper edges. Either the officer saw something far stranger than a lizard, or the human need to explain the inexplainable reshaped a dead pet into a legend. There are other versions. The 1955 account of a sparking wand has no physical remnant and no second witness. The 2016 claim, two young people playing Pokemon Go near Lake Isabella who said a giant frog rose onto its hind legs and walked, produced only dark, grainy footage that many observers believe shows a lawn ornament or similar prop. No bones, no clear photographs, no consistent tracks. The creature appears, is described, and then slips back into the water or the fog of memory. Yet the descriptions hold a strange consistency across decades. The height of a child, the leathery amphibian skin, the ability to crouch and then stand, the preference for the river's edge at night. Artists working from witness sketches have sometimes added faint spines or ridges along the back, large oval eyes, a posture that is neither fully animal nor fully human. The image that lingers is of something that does not belong in the taxonomy we trust, something that rises only when the ordinary world is thin. What then do we make of it? The Loveland Frogman is not merely a misidentified iguana or a mid-century hoax. It is a mirror held up to the places where our maps fail. It teaches us that the boundary between the known and unknown is not a wall but a membrane, and that membranes breathe. When we encounter something that refuses easy classification, we are forced to confront the limits of our own perception. We fill the gap with story, sometimes careful, sometimes extravagant, because the alternative is to admit that the world still contains rooms we have never entered. There is a deeper lesson here about respect and restraint. By refusing to graft this modern cryptid into indigenous traditions that do not claim it, we practice a quieter kind of honesty. We leave space for the real, older relationships between people and place to remain intact. In an age when stories travel faster than verification, that restraint becomes a form of care. In the future implications, as our tools grow more powerful, cameras in every pocket, artificial minds that can generate entire mythologies in seconds, the Loveland Frogman may become something new. It may dissolve into pure folklore, a mascot for a town that has chosen to embrace its weirdness with festivals and statues. Or it may persist as a reminder that anomaly is not always error. In a world mapped by satellites and sorted by algorithms, the human appetite for the liminal will not vanish. We will continue to need figures that walk the edges of rivers at night. Figures that force us to ask whether the darkness holds only what we already understand, or whether something still rises when the headlights swing past and the water is black. The river keeps moving. The stories keep rising. And somewhere between the guardrail and the current, the question remains unanswered. Not because we have failed to solve it, but because some questions are meant to keep the membrane thin. That's it for the story of the Loveland Frogman. If you enjoyed the story, please hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Share the podcast with a friend. Give me a follow on social media. And until next time, keep your eyes open. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.